What's up, bud? It's Rob. This is Apparel Success. And this video here is a long time coming. I've been wanting to share with you how to calculate the profits for your clothing brand for a long time and really get into the details of it. And the reason why I haven't done that is honestly because I sucked at it for a very long time. And I think that now I have a really good grip on it. And I think that there's a lot that I can show you and a lot of value that I can offer for you. Okay, so in this video here, I'm going to walk you through how exactly I record an income report for my clothing brand for 1 month. An income report, that came out kind of funny. And I think that this is really going to help you. There's a lot of expenses and things like that I think a lot of clothing brand owners record wrong for their clothing brand. So let's get into it. Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at DesignCrowd. And I really believe that the offer that I have for you with DesignCrowd is one of the most underrated parts of apparel success, especially if you aren't a designer yourself. If you need designs made for your clothing brand, then I seriously recommend that you check them out. What you do is you post a project on DesignCrowd, then designers from all around the world will compete for your project and you choose the winner. Here's a project that I posted for my own clothing brand, and it is a design that I got through DesignCrowd that I'm literally going to be using for my clothing brand, and I absolutely love them. I have a special offer for you. If you're interested, you can head over to designcrowd.com/apparel to learn more, or simply use the discount code apparel when you post a project on DesignCrowd. All right, so when it comes to the accounting for my clothing brand, I do a monthly income report just to get clear on the numbers and what the expenses are like, how everything's looking, so that I know exactly, where my numbers are at. And I really suggest that you do this too. And so basically, in this video here, I'm gonna walk you through how to do an income report for your clothing brand every month so that you can keep on top of your numbers and so that you can know them very well, or as well as you possibly can. I realize that, you might not be an accountant. I'm not either, so this isn't my strength. But, over the years, I've had to learn this, and I really suggest that you do as well. So basically, the way that all this works is you have your profits, which are made up of your revenues minus your expenses. It's as simple as that, okay? So if you take all the money that you made in, say, the month of July, and you subtracted from all that money all of your expenses, you'd be left with your profits for that month. And so basically, the real battle here isn't obviously recording your revenues, because that's very simple. You can take one quick glance and know all the money that you made that month. The tricky part is recording all of your expenses accurately and doing it with integrity so that you know the real numbers and so that you're not cheating it to feel good in your head, so that you can see, wow, I made all this money, but at the end of the day, you actually didn't. And I think that this is what I want to get into mostly inside of this video, is how to record the expenses for your clothing brand every month. So what you want to do here is the first month that you do this, you want to record sort of labels of what your most common expenses are so that you can have that for every month that you do this, okay? And I want to go over with you the most common expenses that I experience for my own clothing brand and that I have to, pay for every single month. And a lot of these things are things that you wouldn't necessarily think of, or that you would maybe easily neglect for your own clothing brand. For example, if you use payment processors to accept payments through your website, which I can almost guarantee that you do, such as PayPal or Stripe, each of these payment processors takes a certain percentage of every single sale that you make through your website. And I know that Stripe takes 2.9% of every single sale that you make, plus 30 cents per charge. And I think PayPal's very, very similar to that. And so this is the type of thing that you need to be subtracting from your overall revenues to calculate your accurate profits at the end of the day. Because if you fail to, acknowledge that as a fee, as an expense, then you're really not getting the most accurate expenses. Probably the biggest expense that you'll incur every single month is your cost of goods sold. And I want to talk to you about how to record this, because I think that a lot of clothing brand owners aren't recording this right for their own clothing brand. And basically, the way that you want to look at this is look at every single order that you got for your clothing brand and everything that you shipped out for your clothing brand, and record how much it cost for you to make those products and those products alone that you shipped out, okay? So you're only recording the expenses for the products that you actually sold that month. You're not gonna include inside of your cost of goods sold Things like a bulk payment to your screen printing facility because you made a huge order for new inventory and things like that. You're only including inside of your cost of goods sold the items that you actually sold that month. And so what I want to pull up for you here is a little spreadsheet that I made of the 50 or 60 items that we have for my own clothing brand. And I suggest that you do something like this for your own clothing brand as well, where you create a little spreadsheet, and every month while you're creating your income report, you basically check off how many of each of these items you sold and how much it cost you to make each item, so that you can add up your cost of goods accurately and so that you can get the most accurate number for your clothing brand for that month. Because that, at the end of the day, is what you want to be recording as your cost of goods sold, and not just the bulk payments that you're making for inventory, because that's actually an investment for your clothing brand. And until you sell that clothing, it's not yet a cost of goods sold. Now, similar to the way that you recorded your cost of goods sold, you want to be doing the same thing with all the promotional items that you're sending out for your clothing brand. So if you're sending out stickers for your brand, if you're investing in coasters, in whatever it is that you're throwing in for free, you want to be including the expenses of how much that would cost you for every single order that you sent out that month. And you want to be doing that for your poly mailers and for your shipping boxes as well, and all other items that you're using to ship out your items. So if it's tape, if it's ink for the labels that you're sending out for your clothing brand, these are all things that you definitely want to be including in your expenses for that month. Now, another big expense that you're going to incur every single month, especially if you're getting a lot of orders coming in, is shipping costs. Okay, this will take up a lot of the expenses that you're also incurring. And even though you're charging shipping fees to people who are placing orders through your website, you're still going to have to make those payments when you're actually going to send it out. And so you definitely need to be subtracting how much you're spending on shipping every single month for your clothing brand. Another big expense that you might be incurring every single month is advertising. So if you're investing a lot into Facebook ads or Google ads or however it is that you're advertising your clothing brand, you need to subtract all the money that you spent that month for your clothing brand in order to get the most accurate picture of your profits. And really, the three main big expenses that you're going to incur every single month for your clothing brand is shipping, cost of goods sold, and advertising. So those are like the main chunks of expenses that you're likely to incur running a clothing brand that you need to be subtracting. And then all the other little things like your promo items, your tape, your little expenses that you make. Maybe there's like a lawyer fee, maybe you have business insurance and things like that. You want to add on top of it. Make sure that you just get all of your expenses for that month, and then you're going to be subtracting that from your overall revenue, and you're going to get your profits. Now, I think that getting a good grip on this as early as possible is probably one of the most important things that you can do for your clothing brand. And the most amount of value that you're going to get out of doing this is really seeing all the little expenses for your business and just how every little expense adds up at the end of the day. And when you're taking the time to actually, do this one day every single month, where you just say, okay, today I'm just going to add up all the expenses, I'm going to calculate the profits, I'm going to do this income report so that I can have a clear glimpse of exactly what's going on for the numbers with my clothing brand. That's really going to give you an accurate idea of how you can improve the types of expenses that you can try to drop or that you can try to minimize if you're not on the green side, if you're not on the profit side. And I really hope that this helps you calculate the profits and get a more accurate picture for how your clothing brand is doing. My light shut off. I'm not an accountant myself, but I made this video for those of you who maybe didn't understand it on the level that I just explained it, in the hopes that, it can offer you some value and get you to the next level for your clothing brand. Okay, so if you got a lot of value to this video, hit the like button for me, drop your brand in the comments below. I'd like to check out the brands that are watching. And if you haven't already, check out my free clothing brand marketing masterclass. You can check it out at apparelsuccess.com/masterclass. It's 100% free to watch. And if you've made it to this point in the video, I want to tell you about the closed Facebook group that we have for Apparel Success. There's a link in the description. Follow that link, join us in the group, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.